Hello, welcome to Active Bryant Fitness Systems, and it just come to me in a flash. I just done a video on fat sinners and fat shaming, and this has been all over the media, but they don't talk about fitness and muscle shaming in the UK. So what I mean by this is that I've been into lifting weights since I was a young man. Started when I was about 14, and then when I got to about 19, 20, I started to look different from everybody else. And I used to get, when I was walking down the road in the summer in a vest top, "Oi, bodybuilder, oi, steroid freak, oi, you think you're hard, don't you?" And I'm like, "Think I'm hard? Come over and say that to me, and you'll see how fucking hard I am." And I got all this all the time. Everywhere I went, "Oh, he's a bodybuilder, he thinks he's hard, he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that." And none of these people that were saying all this nonsense never knew me or never spoke to me. Does that make sense? So the fat shaming is not really new, but why don't they talk about fitness shaming? You know, you'll see somebody that looks in great shape in England and they're on steroids. Not they've worked really hard to keep their physique or to keep their body or their figure looking good. Unfortunately, in Great Britain, there's so many negative people, it's unbelievable. When I was in California studying to get my master's with the Czech Institute, I was doing some Tai Chi in Camp Middleton, around that area, where all the Marines were. And 10 of them marched past me and been like that, and I couldn't believe it. Do you know what I mean? And give me the nod as they walked past. And when you went out in California and you had a vest top on, like I've always worn a vest top in the summer, the way I look at it, if you've got a Porsche, you don't leave it in the garage, you take it out to be shown off. Does that make sense? So my body is my car, my engine type thing. So that's the way I look at it. If I see a good physique or a beautiful woman's body, I've got no problem saying, "You look great, you look fantastic," whether it's a guy or a girl, I don't care. If they look good, then I will give them a compliment, because I know too many times bodybuilders or people that are in good shape, in great shape, low body fat, that's all it is, low body fat, and higher muscle proportion, get shamed in the street, especially in the summer or when you're on holiday. I've been on a holiday on a tuk-tuk like that with me big guns out, and I've had other guys looking at me like they want to fight me and they don't even know me. Do you know what I mean? And I just wanted to do this video that don't let anybody shame you if you've got a great body or if you're into, you know, if you're in good shape. If I see somebody, I got a friend of mine that as soon as they see anybody that's bigger than them or looks better than them, like muscular wise, they're on steroids. Then that isn't always the case. Some people have got really good genetics, or their diet is tip top, their nutrition is brilliant, and they're training really regular and not missing gym sessions, or they've got higher levels of testosterone if it's a man, more naturally than others. Now, if I see a woman with arms the size of me or big shoulders like me and stuff like that, then I'm a bit suspect. But I still think that great, she looks great. She's worked hard to get that body looking that way. I never forget, in Progress House in Southend, Essex, there was a woman at Progress House and she was like going in for the Mrs. Great Britain and stuff like that. And her shoulders were like two of my heads. She was absolutely massive, but she was a lovely woman. You could go up to her and ask for her for advice and tips, and it was never "fuck off, I'm busy." You know what I mean? She'd always loved to have a conversation about her passion of being a female bodybuilder. So the way I look at, you know, people that look very freakish, they like that look. They like to be, you know, not ridiculed, but be complimented. You know, I like to be complimented if people want to compliment me. But I don't go after it. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think, obviously, if you're fat, you don't look healthy. If you've got a six-pack and you've got big arms or you've got big legs, you look healthy. You look different on the street compared to average Joe that don't give a fuck about themselves, sitting on the sofa and saying he's on steroids, she's on steroids, or they're on drugs, or they're not doing it naturally, or he's a bank robber, or he's a gangster, that's why he's got that muscle. Now, that's never the case. Every time I've gone up to somebody that's either my size, like I'm 15 and a half stone, or somebody that's 16 stone with 19-inch arms, like I went to see Lou Ferrigno in the 90s. He was ginormous, 6'7". What was he, 19, 20 stone with 24-inch arms, was huge. And it was quite frightening to see that. But I had admiration for the amount of work he put in the gym to get that. Obviously, he was experimenting with his hormonal system. But I still give them guys respect, because I know they've got to work hard to get it. It's just when they've got an attitude and they think they can push everyone around because they've got a bit of size. I don't like that. Like, I was in a local shop, it was about 5 months ago now, and a guy a little bit bigger than me, a bit puffier, shoved into me for no reason. And I wanted to go and have a word with him. That's my natural instinct. Go, what the fuck you doing, mate? But it was in the shop. It was all under camera. And I just thought, if it kicks off, it's not going to look good on me. You know what I mean? So I walked away. But I just don't understand why guys have that mentality if they see a bigger guy. Or they might see me as being much bigger than them, but they don't realise that they're already huge because they've got bigorexia. And I've got bigorexia. That keeps me training. You know what I mean? I've got to keep strong. I've got to keep healthy in my 50s. So seeing a muscular guy or woman doesn't bother me. And I give them automatic respect. Even a guy or a girl that's just big, you know what I mean? Give them respect. But it does annoy me that they're talking about fat shaming, but not talking about body looking good shaming, you know? Instead of like paying a nice compliment to that person. If I see somebody, you know, a lot of people will say to you when you reach 50 and upwards, how old do you think I am? And I am not the type of person that lies or bullshits to people. So if I feel that they're in their 50s, but they look like they're in their 40s, I'll tell them. But if they're in their 50s and they look 60, I'll tell them that they're in their 60s, because I'm just not a bullshit. I just don't want to stroke people's ego for the sake of it, to trying to make a friend. Do you know what I mean? I'm just honest. I'm just Scotty, you know. If you don't like the truth, don't come and ask me a question, you know. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've been muscle shaming, I'm in the dark. Don't muscle shame, and just think about that person, what they put in, the time, the effort, the energy to get where they are, and to keep it as well. That's really hard. As you age, you know, you get lazier, you know, kids get in the way, life gets in the way, but the person that's determined to keep it as they age, you know, 60, 70, 80, I've got massive respect for them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please comment, please follow, please like, please subscribe. Bye.